Let's hand it over to a renowned Nigerian poet and advocate for social justice and gender equality.
The first thing that came to my mind was, I am grateful for my children.
The girl beside you holds the future.
And I got invited by the Secretary General, and that was so surreal.
I do not come to you by chance, and history is the way.
My proudest moment would be that I got to do what I love to do on stages that I only dreamt of.
Whose poetry is celebrated by people around the world for its honesty and its emotional depth.
Take a lot of rest. Yeah, that. Take a lot of rest, because I battled with my health a lot in 2024, but I never rested or took any break. Like, I was literally on fumes.
Performing her poem, Break the Old Patterns, to music composed by Rex Ricketts, please welcome a true champion of the underrepresented, Alhanislam.
I think that I would say navigating loss whilst being present. And I say that because it's a delicate dance. And for me, this year made me recognize that healing is not linear, and that you can hold loss, love, and grief in the same breath with gratitude.
Our lives are like rivers with nowhere to go. And we do not have to be in chains to be held hostage by life.
I would either say transformational or resilience. And I say that because this year has tested my strength in ways that I could not possibly have imagined. But I'm also thankful that it has allowed me to sort of demonstrate my capacity and my ability to rise and thrive despite it all, and still be able to achieve the goals that I have set for myself.
It is an honor to be standing in front of greatness today and to speak about greatness. And today, greatness wears the face of a man.
It was surreal. It was beautiful standing on the stage with Dr. Adeshina Akinwumi, Dr. Benedict Oraima, and some of the personalities of the UAE government, and accepting that award. I think the first thing that came to my mind was, you might be an artist, but it is so important for you to recognize that you're part of a collective driving the movement for change. And it's so important to recognize that the win is not just yours at the moment. It's actually for every single person that has invested their energy, resources into you, into this journey. And so it's a win for all of us.
Tell them the difference between a woman who dreams and the one who is awake is freedom. Tell them.
Success to me has never really been about the accolades. It has always been what my work can inspire in another person to use their own voice. And today I can also say that success is not even about me anymore, but about the ripple effect that I can create.
And so I say, if a woman is the seed, then is she not the garden? Does a garden of wildflowers bend to the weight of an ancient hand? Will you not?
Okay, I think the first thing is something that I actually came across on Instagram, and it says, not every door that is closed is locked. Push. Because, sometimes we have this thought that, God should bring forth, open doors and stuff. But sometimes God actually brings closed doors to you, and He wants you to just push. And your push can be your tenacity, your push can be your persistence. It can also be you going to learn a skill, or something that is just that one thing between you and accessing that opportunity. God works through men, and God can also, do miracles and stuff. But sometimes the biggest miracle is in your effort, and it's in you. The second thing it taught me is that I should remain teachable. So long as you remain teachable, you can go far, like so far. because everybody is ignorant in one thing or the other. And even the thing that you know, there's always someone who knows better. And if he doesn't, so long as you pay attention, there is something that can teach you how to be and how not to be. And that's very important for growth. And I think the third thing that it also taught me is not to judge the stars by the dimmest of light. Else we would also miss the beauty that adorns the sky. You meet someone and you underestimate the person, or someone that's super close to you, you don't recognize their value. And just because at a point in their lives they have hurt you, doesn't mean that they have lost their value. So you must extend grace even in the way that you fight people.
Alhanislam! Is she not a dream fulfilled?
I think that I would say you should recognize that your voice is your power, and you should never underestimate its importance and what it can do for people and for your own self. Because words are very powerful. And I always say that if words were not powerful, God would not choose words to preserve his own words, because the Bible is a book, the Quran is a book, and he chose that medium. And because also we are full of energy. Basically, the human formation has a lot to do with energy. And so when you speak, it travels in infinity. And so you never know where the end is. But that also means that there is a cycle, and it can still come back to you. So recognize the power of your voice, the importance of your words, and know when to speak, and know when also silence can represent words. She turned her voice into a movement and gave others the courage to do the same.
Are you not all that? Let's have another big hand for Alhanislam. You are all turning the wheel of history, pushing the whole world forward.
My proudest moment would be that I got to do what I love to do on stages that I only dreamt of. It started from performing Breaking the Old Patterns at the Summit of the Future, the United Nations General Assembly 2024, and I got invited by the Secretary General. And that was so surreal. I mean, you can go to the UN for all the events, but to actually get an invitation from the Sec Gen himself, just this girl in this little corner somewhere, it meant a lot to me. And yeah, I performed Breaking the Old Patterns there. And from that moment, you had like invitations from Women's Global Forum in Paris saying they want that same poem. And, also going to Brussels from there to talk about the same thing. Now, the first one was in the context of fighting patriarchy, but the second was in the context of speaking up for countries that are going through so much, like Gaza, like Sudan. And I felt so good. Ukraine, being a part of that circle and using my voice for change, and then being invited to Rome to open the SDG Action Awards with, again, the same poem. So it was almost like I had a mini Europe tour from the US and then came back home and it was still performing that poem, and it felt like an anthem. So I felt really proud, and in a humbling manner, to be honest. It's just that it felt really good that people understood the value of that message and how it is so important to fight patriarchy, and just being able to do what I love and travel the world. I think, that. Yeah.
And when the future arrives, will we be ready? Will our daughters be ready? Will there be enough space for them to stand tall in their brilliance, break the old pattern? The girl beside you holds the future like a promise, a dream waiting to be fulfilled.
I am grateful for my children, I'm grateful for my children. My daughter, my daughter, I see myself. In my daughter, I see my mother and my daughter. And my greatest prayer for her is that she is able to be a girl long enough before womanhood comes to imprison or snatch the girl from her. And I hope she's able to preserve truly the girl in her and the love that she carries, and that it wouldn't have to be a burden, because my mom crawled so I can walk. And right now I'm walking so she can run. And I hope she carries it forward to run so her daughter also can fly. Please take some time to heal the boy in you so that the man can be at peace. There is nothing wrong with being allies of women. There is nothing wrong with holding yourself, in a space where you also need rest. You're not a man so that you can solve the problems of the world, and you should treat yourself with some grace.